Today's episode, we talk about our off season.
I'm John.
I'm Amanda, and we're the Hardscape Nerds
Why Hardscape?
because we scape so hard.
This is the time that I want to let you realize that this is probably a party that you don't want to attend, but you're locked in.
So the off season, for us, it was basically through the holidays through the end of February. And I feel like we got a lot done.
I'd say we got a ton of work done. I personally got the equivalent of 2 or 3 off seasons done this year. I didn't really take a break. It was going to work every day as if I was actually working, although I did allow myself to sleep in till usually 6 a.m., which for me is sleeping in, and just trying to chip away at stuff.
Tell everybody what time you normally wake up.
3:30 to 4 a.m. My alarm is supposed to go off at 4, but I usually wake up around 3:30. I don't know why. It's because I used to plow snow, and I would wake up around that time to go out, and then I realized that I would end up I'd go out and work for a few hours, and then I'd come home and I'd still have energy, and then I'd keep working anyway. And I just realized that for me, my biological prime time is kind of in the morning, so I get a lot done. And it definitely helps before everyone's up, although our children wake up usually at 5 now half the time. So
Yeah. That's their time to shine. Between 5 and 6 usually.
Yeah, so I don't have as much alone time as I used to for the first couple hours, but it just suits me. So I'm not a huge advocate on it, but I take that back. I think everybody should wake up early. It's a lot nicer.
You turned me into more of a morning person. I still don't get up willingly very early, but I used to stay up late and then sleep in, and it was tough to adjust to getting up earlier because I used to be a teacher, and then when it would be the summer, I would just sleep in, and then when September rolled around, it was tough. So it's made it easier.
Yeah, you have the whole day at that point. You can't get the time back, so if you get off to an early start, then it's a lot easier you can take a break and not feel guilty. I used to be a night person at some point, and it just once you lose that time and you wake up at 11 o'clock in the morning, it's just gone. So I think a lot of people that are self-professed night owls are really procrastinators, and I think it's hiding a lot of stuff.
Guilty.
Yeah. So what else did we get into? I guess we did the trailer.
Yeah.
We started there, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a blur. We started the trailer, and we just went through it again. And this is the first year Amanda helped me out throughout the whole time being out there. I used to go out there by myself, freeze my butt off, absolutely hated it, and I would just work until, I don't know, noon or something. So I just put in from maybe like 8 till noon. And it's usually pretty cold here in Pittsburgh in the wintertime. And so it pretty rough working in an unheated trailer and just trying to organize tools. And I would usually do that for a few weeks. But this year, just because Amanda was there with me, it helped a lot, just the accountability, the fact that I knew, okay, I have somebody else's time that I'm accountable for too, and I don't want to just stare at my phone checking out YouTube. I'm going to actually go do something. I got a lot more done, just the accountability. So yeah, it definitely helped.
You you already had a baseline started before, just years of iterations, I guess, of different ways to compartmentalize tools and to house them in the trailer, in the space that we have. And so this year, I think the big focus was the smaller tools and trying to get them shelved, for lack of a better word.
The smaller tools, but also not fighting the system, and not fighting the system, not fighting natural tendencies of the crew to be able to, if they're not going to put away tools in a certain manner, basically trying to create the systems in the trailer to accommodate what we actually put away. It's one thing to create this beautiful structure and every nut and bolt is in a certain place, and then it's raining and you've been working in the rain, you got a half inch of rain on you, and once your underwear are soaked, everyone wants to go home. So it's tough putting away tools in circumstances like that. It's absolutely miserable some days, and that's kind of the goal, is create it so that you almost create it so it's fun. I want to make it enjoyable. Everyone should enjoy putting away tools at the end of the day, because it's the end of the day. It should be fun on some level. So that's what we're trying. We'll see how it works, but that was the goal.
Yeah, so we got some buckets to put things in also, in addition to having shelves to house things.
Yeah, loose storage. Before I was trying to create a shelf or something for every single item individually, and this way the guys always brought everything in buckets, so this way we can just put it away in buckets. So we just use 5-gallon buckets. We got square ones so that they stand out, so that you're not you don't use them for backfilling and whatever you need buckets for on a job site, which is plenty of things. These are supposed to be not used for actual work, just for tool storage, to help identify with that. So what else did we do? The
maintenance and
yeah,
ordering and categorizing pieces.
Yeah, I forgot about that. We serviced every piece of equipment we have with an engine. Everything got oil changes and spark plugs and air filters and all that stuff that normally you say, oh, I'll get to it in the summertime, but hopefully in the summertime you're working or you're exhausted. So yeah, that was nice getting that done. And I mean, we created a schedule so that there's certain tools that we know we're going to use, like the compactors. They'll get plenty of use, so we'll change the oil halfway through the year, and we'll just pick a day and bring everything home and change all the oil and all of that. But yeah, just to create some sort of a schedule was super beneficial, just to take it off of my mind, creating logs and just having that information. I've been wanting to do that for, my goodness, probably 20 years, to just have that information at my fingertips, to know how long it's been since something was serviced. And yeah, so that definitely helped us.
So you had determined how many hours you typically use the machines throughout the year, and then some of these things might be more preventative, like changing the belt on the bow mag.
Yeah, it was not the bow mag compactor was not. There's no problem with the belt that I know of, but I wanted to change it now because it's got like 600 hours, I think, on the unit itself, and at some point that belt's going to go, and it's going to happen, and it's not going to happen. The chance of it happening when you're ready to put it away, like it finally breaks on the last 2 square inches that you need to compact, and it gets the job done. Well, that doesn't happen. It happens in the middle of the job, and now you got to go either rent something or whatever. So that's big. One thing is the pull cords. All of our little engines, the pull cords, they last. It seems like they'll last a little bit over a year. Well, we're trying now to replace them once a year so that hopefully we never have to fix them in the field. And even if you fix them, it's not the cost of that. It's the fact that you got 2, 3, 4 guys standing around while you're waiting on this thing. Especially if they're not mechanically inclined, you really run into trouble, and it starts adding up pretty quick. So for the price of $100 for a pull starter, if you can do it yourself, and then there's a lot less pressure to do it. So yeah, I forgot about all that, and that definitely took a load off. The next thing that we did is just kind of going through the computer, and I just started editing videos and just sorting customer files. I went through 700 some gigabytes of data, and that took a lot. That took a couple weeks in just putting together new videos and just learning the process on that. Definitely got better because it was kind of batch work.
But I think the big thing is all of the customer files, contracts, notes, estimates, photos were just in disarray. And I had folders on my computer. You had folders on our main desktop, and getting all of that in one place and sorting, knowing, Mrs. Smith, everything for her job is in one folder because we had at least 2 separate folders of her information.
That definitely helped, just peace of mind to just know that everything's in one location. We don't use a CRM. We don't use we use QuickBooks, and that's the extent of our software. We create our own spreadsheets for whatever else we need, and that we've dabbled with some actual software, particularly if I can say it, we'll just gloss over that. And LMN, it didn't really suit our needs, and it was a ton of money, and really doesn't. Most of the software is basically just glorified Excel sheets. So if you can take a class on that, learn how to work a job cost up that way, that'll definitely help. And it's in the same way it's a good idea to do that even if you are going to sign up for one of these big software companies. I think there's a lot of really good ones, but you still, like, when you learn how to do accounting, they don't teach you how to use the calculator, and they don't teach you how to use QuickBooks. When you learn accounting, you learn manual entry, credits and debits, with a pencil and paper. So that way you understand the fundamentals. It definitely helps on that regard.
And it helps. Well, you have to know the mix of the business to get the most bang for your buck out of the software. So for us, just doing installs, we don't need routing and things like that. We don't have grass guys going out. So a lot of the features just weren't pertinent. But to John's point, it really is just a bunch of Excel sheets that just are packaged together. And so it's nice to have it in one place, but you can't really customize it exactly to what you're looking for. Like, there's always some missing piece to that.
And a lot of these things are kind of geared towards a little bit larger companies. If you're just a single crew operation like we are, it's kind of overkill, in our opinion. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't look into it. And there are some handy stuff, some handy programs out there, and especially like on the maintenance end, there's a lot of smaller apps that are a little bit lighter that you don't have to spend so much time investing how to learn, and yeah, it's just nice to be able to go from there. So what else we got?
I mean, that was pretty much it. We decided to focus on the physical space. We knew that the trailer wasn't going to be here for us to work on all the time. We needed to order parts. We actually ordered extra parts to have on hand for the next maintenance, whether it be summer or next winter. So we have those on deck, and had some downtime between. You had a couple of injuries. We were both sick, so we had to switch gears that way. But organizing a lot of the spaces, and then the office itself, and then the computer. And the computer is the tough one because you can't see it all the time. It's not in your face. So, but I think having all that, we're in a better position to work on the next steps on projects because we actually know where our files are, and like you said, equipment service. So we're trying to cut back on that downtime through the season.
Proverbs 14:23, in all labor there is profit, but the talk of the lips tendeth only to penury. Let's stop talking and make something happen. Thank you both for listening. Be sure to share this with your in-laws, your outlaws, that friend who doesn't appreciate personal space. They sure won't bother you anymore.